Hey there folks, it's Jimmy Stewart here, hoping this is finding you all doing well. Now today's video I'm going to do something that I've been trying to do, or waiting to do I guess you could say, for about the last year. Now some of you that have been on the channel and are familiar with it know that I use my Monoprice here, the Monoprice Stage Right 15 watt valve amp, and I use it for almost all of my demos and a lot of my reviews. And I've actually done a full review on the Monoprice Stage Right 15 about 9 or 10 months ago. If you haven't seen that video, check it out here. Check out the link. I think you enjoy it. And I use a bunch of different guitars to show you as much as I can about the Monoprice 15. Now, this amp is a very popular amp. It's sold out almost all the time. So go on monoprice.com if you're interested in a valve amp like this, and see what the current price is and whether it is in stock or not. I just checked earlier today. It is not in stock, but it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right around Black Friday time frame, and it was on sale for around $215, which was a great price. They usually run about $249, and again, maybe a year or so ago, we were catching them on sale for about $199, and I actually got mine for like $150 and some change. So I don't know if you'll ever see those days again, but even at $250, it is well worth the price. It's a great little amp. Again, check out my review of it. But today, what I wanted to do was, when I first bought this amp last year, I actually bought a set of tubes and a upgraded 3-spring reverb that I was going to put into this amplifier. But after I received it and played with it for a while, I really didn't think it needed it, to be honest with you. The stock tubes that came with it were fine, and I found out from Monoprice that the older stock tubes on this amp, back about a year ago when they were first releasing them on the updated design of this one in 2019, they were ruby tubes that they were using on all the stock amps going out. I have since heard that the amps that they're shipping out now, the newer amps, it's the same amp, but right now I think they're shipping all with JJ tubes, and that's what I'm going to do today. Because when I first bought this amp, I bought a set of JJs. So what I did was I went on Amazon about a year ago, this September of last year. Here it is right here. I got them from Sam Ash actually, but it was through Amazon, and I ordered a set of tubes for this. Now, if you're looking to put tubes in your Monoprice amp, you can look at sets that are normally for the Fender Blues Junior. It's the same set. It's 3 12AX tubes and 2 EL84 tubes. Now, I ordered from Sam Ash, and I got a set of JJs. The thing is, on the EL84s, you want to make sure these are matched. So as you can see right here, when I got them in, maybe I can bring those up to the camera for you. You can see that these are a matched set of JJs, and you want to make sure that the power tubes, the EL84s, are matched. So it takes 2 of these. Here is my receipt. And again, these were not greatly expensive. Okay, so these were $24.99 plus tax. So it came out to $26.49 for the pair of EL84s. And then I also got, obviously, the preamp tubes. These are JJs as well. These are the 12 AX7s. Okay, so I had to get 3 of those. The amp takes 3 12AX and 2 EL84s. So these I ordered on Amazon as well. These actually came out to $40.93. So we've got the 3 of those right here. So we got 3 plus the 2. And I also ordered at the same time the mod. This is the 8EB2C1B reverb tank. This is a mod reverb tank. It's supposed to be a drop-in replacement for the reverb tank in this. Although, remember, last year they did upgrade the reverb tank on these, so it's a 2-spring reverb, and it actually sounds pretty good. But I initially bought this. Now, this is a 3-spring, and that should go right in there. We'll see if it does or not, because that's what we're going to do today. This is a 3-spring reverb, and again, this is the mod, the 8EB2C1B. Again, ordered off of Amazon. This was $27.95, so with tax it came out to $29.63. So if you do the quick math, you get $30 here for the reverb tank. You've got, for the two EL84s, $26.49, so 30, 40, 56. You got $57 so far. Again, I'm just rounding it. And the 12AXs were 40. So we're right around $100. So $100 for the tube set and the 3-spring reverb. So in today's video, we're going to see, is a $100 upgrade to a $250 amp worth it? Will we actually be able to hear the difference? That's what we're going to try to find out. Let's upgrade this puppy. Now, before we do the upgrades, what I'd like to do is get a baseline of this amp. Now, a lot of you that have been on the channel have seen me do reviews with this amp, quite a few, so you kind of know what it sounds like. So let's just do a couple of tests, pre-tube and pre-reverb upgrade, and then we'll do a test post. Again, it might be tough to hear at home. I can hear it here in the studio very, very well. It might be tough doing this test once we put new tubes and a new reverb tank in there, how it really going to differ. But I promise I'll be as honest as I possibly can ear-wise here, and you'll notice that I'm not miking this amp at all. I'm simply picking it up from the camera mic, okay? We're trying to get the room sound here as best we can. I'm at 5 on everything, 3 on the reverb, and 2 on the gain. We are in the bridge position. Let's get to it, shall we? Okay, so here we are. Now, to do this operation on this amp, you're going to need a few things. Some screwdrivers. This particular amp has Phillips heads on there. So I've got a Phillips head screwdriver here that should work. It looks like it's about the right size. Again, just make sure you have the right size so you don't strip out the screws. And obviously you want to make sure that this amp is unplugged. You don't have any power going to it. Again, you don't have a separate power supply or a pull-out power cord on this particular amplifier, so just make sure it's unplugged and do your thing. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove this panel, and we'll get at the tubes. Now, no, that's not the right size. So let's get the right size Phillips. You could probably do this with a drill too, but I'm just doing it to be safe here. I don't want to strip these screws. These are fairly long, as you can see. So I'm going to leave them over here, keep them out of the way. I will probably speed this up for you guys so you don't have the the boredom of watching me take screws out. Now, you could probably do this without removing that panel. You do have access. You can get in here and feel those tubes, but to be safe and not break a tube and make sure you have good clear access, I'm taking the panel off, and I suggest you do the same. Okay, we've got the screws out. Now let's see if this panel will come off without too much issue. Just want to be gentle. Okay. What you don't want to do is rip that Tolex off. So you can see this Tolex is just glued down there, and it pulled off a little bit as I was taking it out, but just be gentle with it and you'll be fine. So there we have it. Now you can see those tubes with the access to them. Let's see if I can get a little bit more light in there. Okay, so we have the panel off, and then I'm going to unplug the leads to the reverb tank. Again, they're just two leads like so. There is a red and a white side to it. And we'll just unplug that, let those stay right there for now. And down here, we have 4 Phillips head screws that hold that tank in. So let's get to those. And on this tank, it should be a direct replacement. 4 screws. Hopefully those will fit. And a white and red connection. So this is going to go inside the amp with a red here and a white here. So here's the original tank. And like I said, this was an upgraded tank in 2019. As you can see, it is a 2-spring tank. And I'm going to replace it with a 3-spring tank. 3 springs on the new one. 2 springs on the old one. So this one's going to come out. And it looks to me see, that's going to line up perfectly. Holes line up well. Everything should line up good. So here's the new tank we're going to put in. Okay, so the tank's in there, and I'm just going to simply plug these leads back in. The red lead and the white lead. And as you're facing the tank, the red lead is going to be on the right. And the white lead. is on the left. All right, there we go. So the reverb tank is in. Here's the old one. I'm going to put this back in the box where the new one came out of and save it in case we need to use it some other time. All right, so now with the tubes. Now with these tubes, you'll notice that they have a clip on these that helps hold them in. So all you want to do is bring those clips up and just bring the clips towards you, like so. Okay, can you see that? Let me bring the camera in again for just a second. Hopefully you can see that. So you just want to bring these clips from the back and slide them to the front. That way you have full access to those tubes. Again, they're just clips that help hold the tube in place. Okay, let me just demonstrate on one of them here. So here it is locked in, and then you just grab it and sling it forward. Okay, so we're going to replace these first three. These are the 12AX7s, and then the EL84s. These are a matched pair. Okay, all right, so we got the box of the 12AXs. We have 3 of them here. And what I'm going to do is when I take these tubes out, I'm going to, because all these tubes are still good, I'm going to put those in these boxes and save them as backup tubes. Now you'll hear some people tell you that you should wear gloves doing this, and you know that's an old wives' tale. They're talking about halogen bulbs when you're taking them in and out of your automobile and stuff like that. It's not going to affect these tubes at all by touching them with your hands. It really won't. However, just to be on the safe side, what I will do is I'll put a glove on, and that way it'll keep me from, hopefully, if I break a tube or something like that, at least I won't get cut, okay? So I'll do that, but you don't really need to. So here's the JJ. Okay, that's the JJ 12AX. So I'm going to take one tube. Just going to wiggle it a little bit and pull it down. Now when you pull it down, you'll see the pin pattern. And when I pulled it down from the inside of that amp, the pin pattern was just like that. So that's how you want to put your other ones. Okay, you'll see the spacing up here. So the pins go like so, and then there's a space right there. So I'm going to take that tube, stick it back in there, and we'll save these as a spare set. And our first one should go in just like so. So if I line up those pins, it should go in like that. Let's see if it does. Okay, so there it is. Here's the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and lock that down. I'm going to pull out the second one. Again, to take the tubes out, you just rock it back and forth and slowly apply some pressure and pull it out. There's the new one. And we're going to place the new one back in that socket, just like so. Put our tube retainer wire back on there to hold that in tight. And we'll move on to the next one. Here's number 3. Here's the new JJ. Again, we're going to line it up the same way with the space for the pins facing towards the back. We're going to go in and like so. And lock that one in as well. All right, so we got the 12AXs replaced. Now we're going to move on to the 2 EL84 power tubes. So now we're going to go with the matched pair All right, again, as you can see, it's sold as a pair. Do not separate. And we're going to replace these two tubes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out now. These are the old ones. Again, just wiggle them a little bit. Pull down, some pressure, and out they come. Now this is in the exact same way as you see when I just pulled it out. The gap in the pins is facing the front of the amp, so this should go right back in just like so. I'm just going to set it right here for now. That's 33, it says marked on there. There they are. So those were a match set, it looks like, as well, which is good. Here's the new JJs right here. And they're going to go in just like that. Again, one at a time. Line up those spaces in the back. Make sure that's seated in there correctly. And then lock it down. And then the next one. All right, so it's in there. Am I going to lock that one down? So everything looks good. So now we've got all 5 tubes replaced and the reverb tank replaced. I'm going to take the old EL84s. Again, these tubes are still good. And I'm going to save these. Again, I've had this over a year now, and the tubes were fine. I just wanted to check and see what a set of JJs actually do for it. It gives it a little bit more headroom and clean before it starts to distort or not. And we'll see how a 3-spring reverb sounds compared to the 2-spring that was originally in here. So let me put the amp back together again. We'll put the grill back on, put those screws back in. We'll get it all hooked up and see what we got. Now, according to the QC sticker on my amp, this amp was manufactured in May of 2019. May of 2019. So this came with the Ruby tubes, not the JJs, which is what I'm hearing now, is that these are actually coming stock with JJ tubes. It doesn't actually say that on their website, but the newer reviews that I have read claim these are JJ tubes now that are being included with this amp when it ships, which would be nice. You wouldn't have to do this part of it. You don't have to do it anyway, actually, but the JJ tubes are supposed to be pretty nice, so we're going to see what they sound like. All right, so I've got the panel back on. Looks good. We're going to go ahead and get it all hooked up and see what we got. All right, folks, so the time of reckoning is here, and let's see what we ended up doing. Again, I just plugged this back in, turned it back around on its stand. Again, we're going to go directly from the Monoprice guitar into the Monoprice amp. And hopefully nothing blows up. We'll see here on the channel what we ended up doing. Okay? So, are we ready? Let's count down. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what we got. No smoke, no sparks, hopefully. It's a good sign so far. All right. So far, so good. reverb. Now I can turn the reverb up more now, where I couldn't before. So on 2, I notice a lot of difference between 2 on the 2-spring reverb and 2 on the 3-spring reverb. So that means I can get more lush as I go up here. I like that. I can tell the difference. Hopefully you can tell the difference. Tube-wise, everything is back to the same. I have the gain is on 2, everything is center. It could be the placebo effect in my head, but I believe it sounds cleaner. I'm bringing the gain up to 5, and I'm going to back off the volume. Oh, definitely different. It's definitely different, folks. It is not breaking up nearly as quickly now. So I'm getting a lot more clean headroom out of this amp just by changing those tubes. I like it. Now up about 7 on the volume here, and right around 3.5 on the gain. Wow. Now remember, this is going directly to the amp, no pedals, nothing at all. So I'm really enjoying the sound of this now. It really opened it up quite a bit, surprisingly so in my head. Again, I can't quite tell you how that's going to affect the sound at home as you're watching this with the YouTube compression and all that kind of stuff. But here in the room, with my ears alone, huge difference. Is it worth putting these tubes in this amp? Absolutely. If you're buying the new model of this, the brand new version, I mean, it's the same amp, but if you're buying it recently, like today, tomorrow, check and ensure. What I'm reading on the reviews is that this now comes tubed with JJs in it. It really does make a difference. If you have an older amp like mine, in other words, released last year, they have ruby tubes in it. The tubes are fine, don't get me wrong, but these sound much, much better. These $70 for the set, in my opinion, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. You can tell the difference. Now let's, let me bring this down a little bit. Let's try this reverb again. I'm going to try it all the way up. Reverb is very, very nice. There's nothing wrong with the 2-spring reverb that comes in this amplifier. It's a big, big upgrade from the original version of this, which just had that little plastic box in it, and they were pretty bad. It was one of the biggest complaints people had on the Monoprice amp. So about a year and a half ago, they upgraded it with that 2-spring reverb box, which made it much, much better. But this 3-spring sounds great. Very nice. Oh man, very, very nice. I'm glad I decided to go ahead and do this. Plus, it gives me a completely spare set of tubes. Should I need or have to replace them for whatever reason, an emergency, you're out playing someplace, you need to always should have a backup set of tubes anyway. So that's going to do it for today. It's a big win. The amp didn't blow up. It sounds great. I've got a spare set of tubes, which I had before, but now I know they both work. That was one thing with buying tubes a year ago and never putting them in there. You kind of taking a chance. You know, if I got a bad tube or something, I would not have been happy. But you saw it live here on the channel today. Everything works fine. It looks good. It works good. It sounds good. I'm a happy camper. Thank you so much, folks, for dropping into the channel today. I really appreciate you stopping by. For those that have subscribed, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. For those that are on the fence or maybe haven't had a chance to subscribe, please consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. We'd really like to have you aboard. So, until next time, folks, it's Jimmy Stewart saying so long. Thank you so much. Please stay safe. Please try to stay healthy. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.